SHRM 24, and I'm with Brian Elfrink from Experian Employer Services. Brian, how are you?
Excellent, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's my pleasure. It's great to be here. Great to see you. Great to meet all my friends at Experian. Experian Employer Services is maybe a little bit newer in the space for some of the folks who listen to HR Happy Hour Network. Maybe share with us a couple of minutes about what Experian's been up to.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey, honestly, that started several years back. A very concerted effort from Experian leadership to pull together 4 entities to create what is now Experian Employer Services. Bought the best of several different worlds to bring it together to create what we have today, which is a very robust, diverse set of solutions aimed at helping employers navigate all sorts of different topics in the HR payroll technology space.
And really the full gamut, right, of the employee experience, from onboarding to compliance-related tasks during their employment, offboarding as well.
Absolutely. The entire gamut. We'll take a look, and I think now, let's take a look at it. So as we talk about really the journey across the employee life cycle and what Experian Employer Services helps our clients solve, it's really challenges from the onboarding side of things all the way through the ongoing employment life cycle to the end of their journey with the employer. And I think what's really important, at least for me in product management and really our clients and our leadership, is what's embedded in every juncture of the process is the people.
Yeah,
this
that's
is all
an
about
important point, right? I've heard you talk about this before. This is not just about, hey, get the form in. It's not just about, check a box, right? These things impact people and their experience at work and actually their lives outside of it.
100%. And I think that really goes to talk and speak to the mission for Experian Employer Services, which is serving employers, serving employees. At the heart of all of this are the people. Whether it's the people in HR or payroll that are helping to administer the benefits to the employees, but it truly is about helping people.
Yeah, and there's a huge value add here too, besides just remaining compliant or just doing what you have to do to, meet all the legal requirements, which are changing constantly. But it's also, look, we've talked a ton in the HR space, especially in the HR tech space, about freeing up HR and benefits and payroll professionals to really do more meaningful work, right? To really connect with people one-to-one. So by having a backstop and a level of support from Experian Employer Services to help you with all of these processes, boom, that means you can now engage with people much more frequently, much more meaningfully.
That's exactly right. And a lot of the conversations that I've had with constituents, whether it's in our clientele or even within our own Experian team, it's how do we free up HR and payroll professionals to focus on what is really meaningful to them as people that are trying to do their jobs and do it meaningfully. And for the HR folks specifically, it's how do I spend more time interacting on a human level and not necessarily worry about checking the box on some of these regulatory
requirements. And that comfort level of knowing this stuff's being taken care of, right? And I can do this other more meaningful work. Hey, we talked about some. Maybe we should take a look at some of the solutions.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at the demo.
Okay, let's take a look.
I'm Gorash. I'm the Senior Sales Engineer for the Form-I-9 and E-Verify product with Experian Employer Services. We're going to run through a demo of our Form-I-9 product called paperlessemployee.com. So this is the first page where somebody, in example today, we're going to be role-playing as Jane Kessler. We are going to be onboarding as a new employee, and we'll land on this page. We'll see the employer's name at the very top. So, of course, whatever the organization name, the branded, to keep things consistent and nice and smooth,
So, boom, I-9 comes up on the employee?
Yeah, so the I-9 comes up, and it comes up right away, just like you said.
Yeah.
It will always be the latest version. There will never be any government updates that the employers will need to worry about or have to do or go back to. You'll just wake up one morning, and the very next version will be live and ready to go in the software.
Perfect.
And we have our instructions button right over here. Clicking on this will open up the formal government's instructions directly from USCIS. It's always going to be the latest version. Right. It is shorter this time. The government has updated it, so it's now
shorter. Wow.
Yeah, we love shorter, right?
That's shocking.
And employers love shorter. So going from there, and then of course, if there's any questions, I'm going to scroll down a bit. If the new hire has any questions on how to enter in a name format, mousing over will display a very brief instruction directly from the government, and it essentially tells you how they expect that data to be entered in, so that way it matches up with their software, with their systems. This results in less mismatches. This results in less confusion. There's some folks with multiple last names. How do you type it in? Hyphens, so on and so forth.
Okay.
Bad data in, it's bad data out.
Yeah.
So these little details are certainly helpful at the very end of the day.
Sure.
And we are now presented with a confirmation. So this little green check or this blue check mark indicates that we've successfully completed the I-9 process. We can now take a look at the documents that we're expected to bring in on day one.
Gotcha.
And I've got the zoom pretty high up on the screen. Normally this will all appear in the same part, but it's all here.
Okay. Yeah.
And this is the formal list. So clicking here will show the government's official list of List A or List B and C combination documents. But for simplicity and to keep things nice and smooth, we selected that we're a U.S. citizen, so we're going to see the U.S. citizen option documents. And if we click here, we'll get a sample of what that document will look like.
Okay, that's helpful.
Yeah, Steve, so this is what we're expected to bring in, so that way we don't show up with a Costco card or a library card, right? Day one, hey, I've got the wrong document. So
yeah, for sure.
yeah, so this will...
not so much maybe on A, but certainly you get into those B and C documents, right?
Right.
Who knows, library cards,
exactly.
Costco card, like you said, sure.
And especially a Social Security card, because some folks have one that will say valid for work only with DHS authorization.
Okay.
And that just means that they are dependent on an employment authorization document. They have to bring something else. So this is an example of what a valid Social Security card looks like for employment authorization. So you're right. The List B and List C documents are certainly, they're more complex and it's easier to get this done.
Yeah, for sure.
So now that we're done, one other final thing happened that we didn't see. A notification went out to the hiring manager letting them know that their new hire, Jane Kessler, who they've sent an invitation to, has now opened that invitation and completed the Form I-9.
Oh, great.
So the employer knows, hey, the ball's now in our court. We can expect to go ahead and complete Section 2 within the 3-day federal rule.
Gotcha. Love it.
All right, so now we can go ahead and log out. We're the new hire, we're done with our day. Our part is done. And we're going to go ahead and switch roles to Jane Kessler's boss, the HR administrator. So it's Monday morning, we'll imagine that. Jane has walked in, we're going to welcome her aboard, bring her in the office and notify her that we've got a few other things that we need to wrap up and finish, such as the I-9. So we're going to log in as the administrator, and within just a single click, we've got the options available for us. So there's really three purposes why somebody would log into a Form I-9, because they're not checking the weather.
Right.
They've got to do something, very specific. Yeah. One of those purposes is maybe to onboard a new employee, such as Jane in that example. For that, we'll hit Task Management right over here. So Task Management will show us our new hires and what status of the onboarding process they are in. Employee search is maybe the second type of the second reason why we might log in. Maybe an existing employee has walked in our office and said, hey, I had a name change. Is there anything I need to update with you guys?
Gotcha.
So we certainly do, And for that purpose, we will log into the Form I-9 application, go right to employee search, pull up that employee, and do whatever we need to do in terms of updating that existing Form I-9 record.
Gotcha.
And then the third is reports, right, housekeeping. Let's get a lay of the land. Let's see if our managers are completing Form I-9s on time. Let's make sure that the E-Verify record is all there for all of our employees in our organization. And for that, we'll click right over here to reports.
Okay.
And our software, this is our I-9 E-Verify report. Our team is always working on expanding our reports and making them better and better, and it's something that we focus a lot of time on. You spoke with Brian Elfrink earlier, the director of product. That's a big primary focus of him and his team. But even right now, our reporting features is really robust, and it'll show records in all states, such as even purged records. These are employees that we no longer have to be maintaining records for. And we don't want the records in our system, an example, right? Because now we're liable for information that we're not even supposed to be worried about. So, tiny little details, but they're all there. E-Verify case data, everything that's entered in on a Form I-9, all data fields, that's going to be there. And a manager can log in and see their entire company, their entire organization, down to the address, and find out how is everything happening on a larger scale.
So let's say she showed up with her passport, and it
Yes.
looks good, and we're ready to complete that section.
We'll hit complete section 2. We'll open up the full section 2, and her name will be preloaded right over here.
Right.
And then the legal status.
Right, that came from section 1.
Exactly. And now we know what to expect. So, in example, as I was saying, if she shows up with a student visa and we don't see it, we can find out, oh, you had said, Jane, that you're a citizen of the United States. You apparently made an error. You'll need to go back and fix section 1 and then just redo it. But if everything is right, correct, we'll go ahead and select that U.S. passport. And type in the, let's see, what is the USCIS number today? 238900034. So if it's a passport card, it would have a preceding C followed by 8 digits, but of course the passport number is 9. So document format numbers, those are important, and our software will make sure that that is done correctly. All right, and then here, now that we've done that, our address is already preloaded. Our employer name is already preloaded. And believe it or not, Steve, but I've actually seen over my career of working on audits, working on many employers of many different sizes, I've seen managers sometimes take a new job and actually put in their former employer's name and complete a whole slew of Form I-9s with the incorrect Section 2 information for their new employer. So it also can slow people down sometimes if they need to get that information. So anyway,
let's take that out of there.
Let's get it out of there.
Populate that.
Streamline the process. Make it nice and easy. Because again, HR's got other things to do, right? So let's make it easy on them as well. So now that that is all said and done,
you've got manager and test there, but that's just your demo environment.
Exactly, that is just my demo environment.
That will be their real name. Right?
Correct, right. Yes, the manager that's going to be responsible for managing Jane Kessler's work location, that individual's information will already be in the system.
Gotcha.
So that'll certainly help out. And then here, once again, we also have the finish later. So if we need to send her home because something's wrong, we can pause. Otherwise, we'll hit submit to employer, and this will now be submitted to E-Verify. But there you go. We've got error checking. We missed a field. So
I like it.
We'll catch it. It won't let us sign. It won't let us archive a record until everything is properly done. Open. You do not have to manually log into DHS's E-Verify site, type in each individual field, and then maintain all that information. It's all going to be done right over here. And now, very quickly, we're going to go ahead and upload the documents that we need. So let's see.
Oh, the front and back image, yeah.
Yes, the front and back. So we'll upload the documents that we have accepted. And then do the back. Once again, there's also an add a note button. So if we do have a document, little hiccup, whatever, we can make a note, to ourselves internally. And we'll hit submit. So, and we've got Jane's image. So now we're going to take a look at Jane's documents, the photo on her documents, the photo on screen. If the document matches up,
one more verification. This is really the person. Okay.
That's right.
Like
and we'll now submit that. And here we are. Jane Kessler is now employment authorized. We've got a positive case result. We do not have additional work required, which is a tentative non-confirmation, nice and easy.
Yeah.
We've got the case data right here on screen with a little history trail.
Oh, everything that happened? Yeah.
Yeah, a little user trail that'll show what we've done. The case number is right over there. And then, of course, we're all set and done. Log it in.
This was really cool. Thank you for taking the time, Andre, to show us.
My pleasure.
And taking us through that. Look, it seems simple. It seems very straightforward. There's a lot of places where it can go wrong.
Right.
A lot of things where it could have questions the employee might have. And you've really come up with really clever ways to kind of help employees through the process, help managers through the process, keep the organization compliant.
Yes.
That's really important. And let HR people process this stuff and manage it and be done with it relatively quickly and efficiently, and go back and audit and see all the run reports and see the history of all the transactions.
Right. And rely on it.
These guys right there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And rely that it's properly done and you can move on
really key. I love that expression.
with your day. Yeah, rely on it. So
this is really fun. Andre,
well, thank you
for
guys.
taking the time.
I appreciate your patience.
Appreciate it. I want to thank our friends at Experian for welcoming us in to meet with them today. I hope you found this interesting, and I learned a lot too, by the way. I learned some I-9 tricks I didn't even know, which was good, so thank you.
Glad to hear it.
But I do want you to check out Experian Employer Services. We'll put a link in the notes to this video as well. You can learn more about what they're doing and how they can help your organization too. So from SHRM, from the Experian Employer Services Group, my name is Steve Boese. See you next time. Thanks so much.